Hi, I'm Figment, and today I'm feeling a lot better, at least vocally, and that's a good thing. Before we get started, I just want to say Happy Thanksgiving. Happy holidays, guys. And if you're watching this and you're not in the US, and maybe you're not celebrating Thanksgiving, well, enjoy the day either way. Maybe go out to a park or a lake, hang out with someone you like, maybe take the day off from work. That's always fun. Either way, enjoy the day. Okay, this is kind of an intermediate video, if you will, because it kind of deals more with a technique than with actually a device itself. But it's something interesting that I just kind of have been playing around with and want to share it with you guys. So, this all comes down to the RPG 8 for me. It's a device I've used countless times, but all of those times, or most of those times, I would say, I used it for a similar purpose, and that is creating arpeggios, which I guess is kind of a no brainer. It's an arpeggiator. But I kind of was playing around with it recently and kind of, excuse me, um, thought of some alternate ways to use it. The best way I can describe this would be for me personally, would be the subtractor. I'd used a subtractor for many years to create bass patches and the kind of melodic patches, lead patches, and somewhere around 2009, 2010, I started using it to create percussive sounds, snare drums, hi-hats, things like that, and that kind of blew my mind. I mean, it was kind of mind blowing. I don't know. To use a device that I'd used so many times the same way over and over and over again, and then to use it to create, in a different way, in a different application. It's the best way I can describe it. What I'm talking about now is using the RPG 8 kind of to create entire sequences, or I guess you could say using it in place of a matrix pattern sequencer, which is the device I use to fulfill this function that I'm going to talk to you about today. Um, the only difference is the RPG 8 is a completely different device. It has different parameters, and because of that, it gives you a different set of controls and a different outcome, which I find to be interesting. So I wanted to, like I said, share that with you guys. So, this technique can be applied to any instrument you're thinking of. I mean, you can use this with I'm going to use this today with a bunch of chiptune combi patches that I made, but you can tie this to an NXT, you can tie this to a Maelstrom, a Thor. I mean, you can tie this to any instrument. You can apply this to any genre of music. It's just a technique in that sense. So I just want to get that caveat out there that you can use this anywhere. But I'm just today with these two little example project files. I'm going to use it with a couple of chiptune Sega Master System combi patches. So the idea is kind of simple, which is kind of cool. I kind of have all these different parts here: bass part, lead part, melody part or lead part, chords part, and they're all exactly the same MIDI regions. They're all four chords repeated over and over and over again, all instrument parts. Just want to show you that real fast. See, they are the same chords. Even the melody is the same chords. Same chords. So that's kind of cool. All I did was create four chords. I didn't really sequence a whole arrangement. The only difference I would say would be the bass notes, but all that is still the same chord progression. I'm just only using the root notes as opposed to all, the chords, because I didn't want the bass to be so complicated. Usually a bass is a little bit, uh, well, it's just not as complicated as most of the time. as most other instrument parts. So I just want to share that with you. All of this stuff you're gonna hear is just it's just the same four chords over again. Now the trick, I suppose, with it is setting the RPG up differently for each instrument type that you're trying to use. So in the case of the bass part, I lowered the octave shift down one. In the case of the melody, I raised the octave shift up one. Um, you know, it's up to taste, but you can change the octave setting, the insert setting, of course, the mode up, down, up, down, down, random, manual, and of course the rate. For most the chords and the chords and the bass, I'm using a eighth note rate. For the melody, I'm using, I think, higher. I think I'm using a 16. Let's take a look. Yeah, 16 um, rate resolution. But that just comes down to taste. Um, the alternate thing on top of this as well, which I found out, is because some of this can be limiting. You're only having 1 to 4 octaves, five insert effects, and five mode settings. There is some limiting factor there, but once you add in the pattern function with the matrix pattern sequencer, then it gets really flexible, and that's what I found to be a big key with using this setup, because as you can see, all these patterns that I'm using are way different pattern settings, although their octave range might be the same. Or there's up as well. Well, this is down, but the pattern setting is a real godsend inside of the RPG 8. So, um, like I said, this is just kind of something to get your brain going as far as using the RPG 8 in a really creative manner. Here's a quick look at a track that is all pretty much the same chords, same four chords over and over again, but I've sequenced this track pretty much by using the RPG 8. So check this out real fast. So you get the idea. Um, I've never sequenced a track that way, and hopefully I'll sit down and really sequence a full-on track with verses, choruses, bridge, etc. using the RPG 8. That'd be a really cool idea. I'll show you one more quick demo track using the same technique. I'm not using chords in this one, but I've pretty much taken the same melodic sequence, or the same the same melodic region notes, and just by using the RPG 8 again, like I said, with different settings, that's kind of the takeaway. You can pretty much create one melodic sequence, one chord progression, copy it across 5 different instruments, set up an RPG 8 to your taste using a couple different settings, and you can pretty much sequence out a whole song. It's just an alternate way of sequencing, and for someone who's been doing something the same way so long, it's kind of cool to find out an alternate use or an alternate way to achieve the same function. So here's another quick look. I use the same drum pattern because I'm just demoing this for you guys, just so you can get a flavor for it. So there you go. Just another use, pretty much using the same exact idea, the RPG 8. So, with all that being said, um, get out there, guys, and make some music. Have some fun. experiment all the time. This is a perfect example of experimenting with uh, stuff experimenting even with stuff you think you totally got your head around. Um, just have some fun, guys. Make some music. Use an RPGA today and see what it does for you. Until then, enjoy the holidays, guys, and I'll talk to you later.